Hi guys, welcome to another Divi Theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got another fun one for you today. We're going to show you how to create this button. When you click on it, it's going to pop out into a Lightbox gallery like this. And obviously you can showcase your images, scroll through them, do what you need to do. Really easy to do, there's no plugin involved in this today. We're doing it all with the inbuilt features of the Divi theme itself and using a bit of code supplied by Elegant Themes. And we've done this before in the past with different things. If you've seen that, you probably know what we're going to do today. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. And I'm going to go down and delete what we've got going on down here. So here's the actual button section. I'll just delete the button itself. And here's the actual gallery that we're going to pop up. I'm going to delete that whole section there. Okay, before we get started, we really want to put the code in that we're going to use. To do that today, we need to go down to the theme options. For anybody that doesn't know, go down to your dashboard, go down to Divi, theme options. Under the general tab, we need to slide all the way down to the bottom where we find this custom CSS box right here. Okay, once we're down here, I'll just scroll back to the top of my little box here. We need to go over to the Elegant Themes, and I'll put this URL below for anybody that wants to copy this code. I can't put it below the video because it's script. And if we go about a third of the way down the page, about halfway down the page, we've got some CSS code right here. We want to copy all of this from the top, that closing curly bracket, making sure not to omit anything. Control C to copy. Then we go back to our theme options, put your cursor inside, and just Control V or paste it in there, however you like to do that. Once it's in there, you need to hit your save your changes. I'm going to undo that because I've actually already got my code in there. That's what you need to do. And once you're done, hit the save changes until you get the little check mark. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to the top of the page. I'm going to go over to integration. And right at the top where it says add code to the head of your blog, again, I'm going to make sure I'm up at the top here. Just pop your cursor in there. If there's anything in there, just scoot it down a couple of lines and go back to the top again. We're going to go back over to the Divi Elegant Themes page here. We're going to roll down a little bit more, and we've got some script. And what you need to do there is, again, copy all of this script. Make sure you don't omit anything. Control C to copy. We'll go back to our theme options integration panel, head of our blog, and you want to paste it in here. And again, I'm not going to do it because I've already got it down below. Once you've pasted it in there, make sure and save your changes once more. Great, once you've done all that, we can continue building. We'll go back to this page, and the first thing that we're going to build is just a little button that we're going to use to pop this up with. So I'm going to just use a Divi Button Module. Put in whatever you want your button to say here, obviously. And we're making a gallery, so I'm going to call mine Gallery Lightbox. That works for me. I'm going to go over to design, I'm going to pop it in the middle. Now you can style your button any way you want by going into button, using custom styles here. I'm going to pretty much leave mine as it is just for a bit of fun. Let's put a bit of a border around it. One picks. And I want to make it white in color. That's fantastic. And we'll give it a, I'm not going to use an icon, I'm going to turn that off. But we'll use a little bit of box shadow. And we'll give it a bit of a glowing effect by making that box shadow either white in color or a colored color, however you like to do it. I'm going to make mine white there. And I think I'm going to give it slightly rounded corners. So if we go back up to the button up here, roll down a bit, we've got border radius. There it is. Let's make mine say 10. Not hugely rounded, but slightly rounded. Makes that light shine out a little bit better. And the actual background color, I'm going to take a little bit away. Button background here, it's purple. I'm going to take a little bit of that away so we can just see a little bit of the image behind, just a hint. Something like that. Great. Okay, so how are we going to make this button pop up whatever it is we want? Well, if we go back over to our code here and roll up the page just a little bit, and do read this page, it gives you some great advice on how to do this. I'm just skipping through it as quickly as I can for you. But if we roll up a little bit more, it tells us we've got to call this button ETLB button. That's the class name we've got to give it. So I'm going to copy that, Control C. We're going to go back to our page. In the button, over to the advanced, we're going to go to CSS IDs and classes. It's a class name, so I need to put my cursor in there and just pop it in there. If you happen to have another class in there already, you can just give it a space and add this class also. That's the way classes work. Great, we're all done with our little button. Now let's actually create our gallery, or the bit that we want to pop up. It doesn't have to be a gallery, it can be anything that you want. So I'm going to hit the little plus to add a new section. I'm going to make it a regular section. Inside I'm going to put a single column, single row. And funnily enough, I'm going to use a gallery module as this is a gallery. Let's add some images. And I'll add quite a few. Let's start there. I'm just clicking on one. I'm going down here, holding my shift key down, clicking on that one. It's selecting everything in between. I'm going to select all of those. And as you can see, it started plumping them in down below. If we roll down, image order's fine. I'm going to use, say, 12. I don't want to show titles or anything like that. So if we go to elements, title and caption, I'm going to put that to off. That's better. All we've got is a bit of pagination at the bottom, which we'll need to get to the next page. Pretty much all I'm going to do that way. Let's go over to our design tab now and just start working on a little bit of the design. I'm not going to do much to it. Layout, grid is absolutely fine. Thumbnail orientation, landscape's fine. I don't really like the overlay color there. So let's go down to overlay below. I'm going to make my overlay icon white and my overlay color black. But I'm going to click on the color field and take the opacity down a bit like we did with the button, so we can see through it. Even take it down slightly more so it just grays out that image a little bit. I think I'll change that icon out for a little eye or something like that. Great. Take that up just a tad. Here's the icon. Let's search for an eye. Obviously you can put in whatever you want in yours. There we go, we've got a little eye icon there. That's fantastic. Great. Well, my images, I'm actually going to put a little 1 pixel border around it. So I'm going to select the border that goes all around. I'm going to put 1 pixel in. As you can see, it's black there. I'm going to change it to white, and you won't really see it, but you will after I change my background to a dark background, which I'm going to do in a minute. So I'm going to put that in there. Then I'm going to take all these gutters away here so they're touching each other. To do that, I'm going to save my gallery. Going to go into my row, the green tab, over to design, sizing, use custom gutter width. I'm going to flip that to on. I'm going to take this slider all the way down to the left, and as you can see, they're touching each other now. Now you can see my 1 pixel border that was going on there. And I quite like my overlay and the little eye there. That works great. Well, let's just make the background a little more interesting, seeing as we're going to pop it up. And I might want to change that pagination color as I'm going dark. In fact, let's do that first. I'm going to go straight in here, back into our gallery, design, and those numbers are the pagination. I'm going to go down to pagination text. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to pop it in the middle, so it's right there. I'm going to make it white. It'll disappear onto the background, but that's okay. It'll come back when I put the section background in. I'm all happy with that. Let's go into our little section here. I'm going to go into background. I'll use a gradient for this just to make it a little bit more interesting. Hit the plus. I'm going to make that first color. I'm just left clicking on it. I'm going to make it black. Roll down and it's down below. Second color, going to make that black also. I'm going to add another stop in the middle, about 50%. I'm going to make that color by clicking on it. Not white, but not black either. Let's make it a few stops up from black, say a light grey. That's okay, but I don't want my blacks to wash out until it gets quite close to the center. Great, that's it. And I'm done. So how are we going to make this section pop up from this button here? Well, if we go back to our little page here and roll up a little bit, it tells us we need to give this a class of ELB content 1. So I can copy that, Control C, we'll go back to our page once more, back over to the advanced once more, CSS IDs and classes, it's a class name, we want to pop it in there. Now one thing they do mention in this is if you're having more than one of these that you'll want to pop up on one page, each instance, so each button you create and each pop-up you create, you have to give it a different number. So if I had another one, this would be 2, and I'd have to assign my first button as 2 and continue on for as many as you like, because if you use the same class names, they will get confused with each other and not work. Great, so we've done that. We should be good to go. Let's save our page changes here. Save draft or publish if you're ready. Let's exit the Visual Builder. And if we roll on down, you may notice that our gallery is not there. It's because we gave it that class name, the CSS that we wrote over in our options over here is telling it to be hidden. I won't go through it all for you, but that's basically why we can't see it. And it's when I click on it, the script is going to flip it from invisible to visible, and it's going to pop up like that. Fantastic. We can hit the next, see the next lot of pictures. You can click on an image, it'll pop out into a little light box for you. You can flip forwards or backwards, whichever way you want to go. And it'll work on responsive devices. Let's have a look on a phone or something like that. I'm using Google Chrome. This is an iPad Air. So if we go down here, let's click on it. Pops up nicely there. And again, you can pop out the light boxes, go through them if you need to. And X out up there. And we'll have a little look on a phone. iPhone 12. There it is. And you can click on an image, pop up, go through. Fantastic, just what we wanted. Great, well let's get rid of our inspector tools now. So there you go guys, there is how to add a pop-up gallery to your Divi site without using a plugin. Really nice little feature, really easy to do, and once you've done it once, you can make a pop-up out of just about anything. And we've done plenty more videos on this, so do check out our playlist. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you or make a demo video. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.